Good evening, baseball fans. It is Thursday, December 26th. I was going to say ho, 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 but I'm not Santa or a elf. I was
You
going to go
sure look
somewhere else
like
with
one
that joke.
today.
My belly is bowl full of jelly these days, so
I hear you
there
there.
may be some resemblance is the word that I was looking for, resemblance to Santa, but only in the belly area, nothing else, because I don't think I look like a jolly old man, but my countenance may or may not be up there. Who knows? Anyhow, I'm Suzy. That is Kelsey. This is Bourbon and Baseball, All the Balls edition, and away we go. But first, the rated R warning, because this is, of course, a rated R podcast for all of the four-letter words and probably some sort of, I don't know, adult innuendo, if you will, because that's just who I am as a person. So if that's not your jam, skedaddle on out of here if for some reason you've come across this podcast and you're like, oh, my pearls, and you're clutching them. Just know there will probably be lots of pearl clutching at this next hour-ish,
Morning.
maybe some minutes. Yeah. Now, with that warning out of the way, now away we go. Kelsey, how was your Christmas?
It was really nice. It was pretty low key. It was just me and my husband since we recently moved across the country. We're not particularly near any family, not that we really were before, but yeah, traveling was just not in the cards this year because of all of that. And for that reason, it was really not stressful at all, which was great. And we just ate really good food all day and hung out with our dogs and our cats and watched movies and had a grand old time. So I cannot complain. How about you?
That's awesome. Did Santa bring you any fun team gear?
He did. I'm not sporting any of it today because I don't want any of my lifelong friends to no longer speak to me, but I maybe after they get over it, I will have to show it off. Yeah, if you haven't listened before or you haven't caught up with me lately, I live about 10 miles from Citizens Bank Park. I'm in South Jersey, outside of Philadelphia, and yeah, every single person is a baseball fan and is a diehard Phillies fan in this area. And then you've got like your Mets and your Yankees fans peppered in from people who like
Right.
have migrated down this way from New York. But yeah, you're really into it. There's no apathy here when it comes to sports. So yeah, and also the Phillies have really cute gear and their logo and their colors and stuff. So yeah, Santa brought me some cool Phillies gear so that I don't get beat up in my neighborhood. Okay.
That's fair. That's fair. But for the people that who may be new around here that don't know that you're not a
Oh
lifelong
yeah,
Phillies fan, who are you? Because your background has changed as well.
right. I'm in my
You're reporting
festive
in a different area.
today.
Mhm.
So I'm not even repping like I normally am. I am a born and bred St. Louis Cardinals fan. So I'm from Central Illinois, right in between Chicago and St. Louis. But my dad and his family are from St. Louis, and so it runs in the family. And I am still these days. I'm still associating myself as a forever and always a St. Louis Cardinals fan. But yeah, there's no guess when it comes to you. It looks like
Yeah.
you are repping
There's
Jackson Merrill as well, which
yeah.
we're gonna talk about the Padres today. So that is in good fashion as well. But
Mhm.
what did you get for Christmas?
I got this lovely Santa hat. If you're on audio only, go to the YouTubes because you will see the most festive Santa hat. It's got the H star, the Houston Astros across the front, and I got this really fun baseball. And as soon as my kids saw it, they loved it. And there's little hearts. The stitching is a heart. I don't know if you can see that on one side and then on the other. And so both
Oh,
I have
cute.
9-year-old twins, and they wrote their quote unquote autograph, and they with an inscription, and one says that you are the best mom. It's from one of them, and then the other one says I love you, mommy. So when they are teenagers and in fact hate me one day, I am going to shove this baseball in their face and say, you know what? At some point in time, you loved me. Christmas 2024, you did love me. Yeah.
Very precious.
I got this for my niece. I got this ballpark bucket list leather bound
Oh,
like
that's cool.
journal thing. Yeah, it's the ultimate scorecard for visiting all 30 major league parks.
Wow, that's such a great gift
Uh-huh.
idea.
Yeah. So my niece got this for me and I will say it is a home run. Knocked it out of the park with this one. So
We got
those
all the
those were
puns
my
for you today.
yeah, those were my top baseball gifts and just was awesome. So I had to show that off and my children were very excited that I was going to show off their baseball. So I had to,
Yeah. I
give
think
them their
that's very
flowers.
special. It's very special now, but like you said, it will be very special for many years to come.
Oh,
And it's
for
always
sure.
a spot on the shelf.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you guys again are confused by what I am wearing, it is in fact a Merrill Madness shirt. Yes. But the decor behind me All Astros, even when they do try to win player of all time.
Yeah, they've been on the signing action at least this
They have.
week,
They have.
so
Yeah.
we'll get to that, but you are repping accordingly because last year on our 40-man find, which we're gonna dive into to start off this episode, you covered Jackson Merrill. So I'm really excited to see who you're gonna tell us about today on the
Yeah.
Padres because you might just be putting the writing on the wall here.
Yeah. So, funnily enough, when we went over this, Kels, I was like, did I go over Jackson Merrill? Because we've talked about him enough last
Yeah.
season that I feel like I did. And so I went back to check and I didn't. You know who the actual official 40-man find was?
Was it Ha Kim?
It was Hassan.
We
We just
also
talked
love.
about Jackson Merrill so much that it just felt like he was
Yeah,
the official 40-man find for San Diego, but he wasn't. He wasn't. So
but
I
we definitely did
obviously,
a little feature on him
yeah.
though. Yeah, and then obviously
Oh yeah.
we continued to talk about him all through the season.
No.
You talked about him before the season is my
Before
point.
the season.
Yeah.
Yes. If you are new around here, the 40-man find is a fun little segment that we do in the off season to highlight lesser known guys. I realize that Jackson Merrill is not the best example of this, but most oftentimes it is a lesser known guy on the 40-man of all of the different teams. And last season we split it up. Kelsey did the AL, I did the NL, and this season we decided to mix it up just a little bit, and we were just gonna go topsy turvy, whichever way the wind blew. We're gonna do a fun picker spinner wheel thing, and I was very excited about this because I was like, "Oh, that'll be a lot of fun." And last week when we did this, I got my signals crossed, and I was so excited because the wheel spun and I got the Padres, and I was like, "Yes!" And then the wheel spun, and what I thought Kelsey got the Yankees, it was not. I got the Yankees. Kelsey got the Padres. And like a good sport, she said, Suzy, I'll give you the Padres. And I said,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
I couldn't let you lose Kyle Tucker and have to feature someone on the Yankees in the same month.
Yeah.
Just not.
That's a good co-host right there, folks. That is a good co-host right there. So
But I say we
without
spin for
yeah.
2 today, and we spin for 2 today, and you let me pick which one I want because the Yankees took Paul Goldschmidt from me, so I am hurting this week. Is that fair?
For sure. That is most definitely fair. I will definitely do that for you because I, like you, am a good co-host, just not better than you, obviously. But yes, I will do that. I will try and ease the pain any way that I can, Kelsey,
Amazing.
because
Because
it is a
with
rough day.
my luck,
Yeah.
I get the fucking Cubs, and I know you also don't wanna get the Cubs, but I don't want to get them more than you.
Yeah. In that case, I would just highlight her and then we would be good. So,
Yeah,
yeah. But
all
anyhow,
good. Win-win.
yeah, without further ado, let me introduce you to Jackson Peter Merrill. Again, Merrill Madness, hashtag Merrill Madness. If you guys don't know, if you have been living under a rock this last season, he is who I consider to be the best rookie. I realize that he didn't actually get that award last season, but he's the best rookie in my heart. But
I agree.
he is the second youngest in MLB, with being born April 19th, 2003, which makes him 21 years old, an actual baby, a literal baby. He was born in Baltimore, Maryland, and he grew up in Severna, Maryland, a suburb of that. And you would think, growing up in Maryland, he would be a Baltimore fan, yes? No, you'd be wrong. He's not an Orioles fan. Grew up a Red Sox fan.
Hmm.
A Red Sox fan, yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Jenny, I'm going to have to ask his mom what that's all about.
The Orioles are a younger team, and Red Sox is so embedded in baseball culture. Everything is really close, as you know
Yeah.
now around here. So yeah, that would be interesting to know how it came to
But
be.
yeah, so Jenny, Josh, mom and dad, I'm gonna have to ask you one day to spill the story on that. Anyhow, like I said, he grew up a Boston Red Sox fan, and his dad was his coach all through T-ball, all the way up to 16 years old. And as a fifth grader on career day, they asked everybody, write down what you want to be. And I will bet you $20 you can never guess what Jackson Merrill wanted to be when he grew up.
A zookeeper.
If you said a brain surgeon, you in fact would be wrong. He did not write that down. He did not write down zookeeper either. He wrote down, you guessed it, a major league ball player. That is what he wrote down. And
Right.
guess what? He did it. And in those 16 years that Josh, his father, coached him, one thing that he just really drove home, just all the things that he taught Jackson, the main thing that Jackson took note of,
What's that?
to never strike out. Contact was the name of the game, and I was all, "Huh, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense." He goes, "Don't ever be okay striking out." All right, sure. And Jackson took that to heart, obviously. And mom, Jenny, always said that he had to work the hardest because he was the youngest in pretty much all of his grades, all of the leagues, everything since cutoff was April 30th. So he was the youngest, and so he had to work harder than pretty much anybody. And hard work paid off because his junior year, he originally committed to the Army Black Knights, and then COVID happened, and they said, no baseball for anybody. And during the off season, quote unquote, the COVID off season, he gained 30 pounds of muscle because he worked out and gained 30 pounds of muscle. I'm all, oh, all right.
19-year-old boys, man.
Yeah. So senior year, he said, Army, I don't want to go to you anymore. And he switched to the Kentucky Wildcats. Oh, all right. Look at you.
Meow.
And his senior year, remember that whole we're never going to strike out? Put that to good use because his senior year, his batting average was 500. A 500 batting average.
Typical.
Yeah, of course. 500 batting average with 13 home runs and 39 RBI, and he was named the Maryland Player of the Year by the Capital Gazette. I assume that's some sort of big publication by them. And that's in 2021. The Padres selected him in the first round as the 27th overall pick, which gave him a $1.8 million signing bonus. And so, therefore, he said, Kentucky Wildcats, got to see you later. We're not going to go to college. Got to go be a major league ball player. And there he went in 2021 to the Arizona Complex League. And I still have yet to figure out exactly what the Complex League is for all of these different teams because it's not like the low A teams. It's
Right.
So I think in my
Yeah.
research, it's the league where the teams send their guys that they really want to get in work, that they think are really good or are really bad, and they need a lot of extra work. In this case, Jackson Merrill was really good. And in 31 games, in 107 ABs, this is important, why I'm telling you the ABs, his slash line was 280, 339, 383, with 7 doubles, 2 triples, 10 RBIs, 10 walks, and only 27 strikeouts.
Wow.
That is why I told you how many ABs he had, because that is, in fact, very impressive. In 2022, he started in the single A Lake Elsinore Storm. Try saying that 3 times fast because every time I tried, I messed up. So 45 games. His slash line was 325, 387 with a slug of 482, which was good for 5 home runs, 34 RBI, and 18 stolen bases. And in 2023, in 144 games between the high A Fort Wayne Tin Caps and the double A San Antonio Missions. Again, people, this is really why you tune into the 40 Man Fine, is to learn the names of all of these minor league teams for all of the teams. And it's fun. It's fun around here. So in 144 games between the Fort Wayne Tin Caps and the San Antonio Missions, he batted 277, the on base of 326, and a slug of 444. 15 home runs, 64 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases. And now you're thinking, okay, Suzy, that's great, but he was in the major leagues and there was no AAA. You didn't say anything for AAA. I know that, people. I know. Because the Padres said, oh, hey, Jackson Merrill, we know that you've been playing shortstop in all of your time playing ball. But you know what? Shortstop's kind of taken. Can you go play
We
center
like
field
6
for us?
other stops.
Yeah, we would like you to play center field. And he said, done. And in some of my reading, apparently, when they put him in center field, the manager, Mike Schilt, it was obviously a tryout in Mike Schilt's head. And Mike Schilt said, you know what? If he does well out there, he does well out there. But if he doesn't, and we will get his bat out of the lineup. But he just kept hitting and kept making all of the plays. And so then Mike Schilt had no choice but to keep him in center field. So again, if you guys know, maybe you don't, maybe you only pay attention to one team and the San Diego Padres are not your team. But Jackson Merrill for the San Diego Padres played center field, started center field for them. The first game, mind you, the first game was in South Korea, made his major league debut in South Korea as a center fielder, and had never played outfield in his life. And they said, Jackson Merrill, you got this. And he did. And he ended the season crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. He won a Silver Slugger Award for the NL outfield as a rookie. Runner-up, Rookie of the Year. I can't say anything against Paul Skeens because Paul Skeens had a crazy year as well, but come on now. Come on. If you finish your rookie season with a 292 batting average, batting 90 RBIs in with 16 stolen bases, a 326 OBP, and a 500 slug, come on now, people. That is absolutely insane. He ended his season with a 4.4 WAR. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That makes me very sad for him. Jackson, obviously you are the rookie of the year in my heart. I know that doesn't mean jack shit to you. However, rookie of the year in Suzy's heart. You will always be rookie of the year on the Bourbon and Baseball Show. Just so you know.
Absolutely. I think it also was like the quietest, unbelievable rookie campaign. Do you think that was just because of Paul Skeens, or is it because he was so under the radar?
I don't know. Paul Skeens obviously had the panache because for a long time, for quite a while there, I thought a lot of people thought Jackson had it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then the Pirates said, "Oh, we're not going to limit Paul Skeens even though they have nothing to play for. Play on, Paul Skeens." And I think that's really what did it. And unfortunately, the fact that Paul Skeens ended his season the way he did, as dominantly as he did, you got to reward him. And again, this is why I say that there needs to be some sort of defining rookie pitcher award and a rookie position player award, because when things like this come up, such as, I don't know, a shortstop turned outfielder that has never played outfield in his entire life and then made all of his starts as a center fielder and put up the insane numbers that he did, you got to reward that. And we're rewarding that by naming you our 40-man find for the San Diego Padres.
That we are. Yeah, I think that was worth the call out for that reason alone. So I'm glad you picked him because, yes, while we do typically feature guys you maybe even have not heard of, especially if you're not a fan of the team, you need to hear about Jackson Merrill, and maybe you didn't because, the Padres didn't get too far in the postseason, and unfortunately, he did not get the flowers that he fully deserves. So I'm glad that you made that happen. All right, let's hit up the Yankees on our 40-man find journey. I'm going to tell you about.
I'm just kidding, fans. I'm just kidding. I'd love to know more about whatever player Kelsey's going to tell us about.
We don't want to hold it against Ben Rice, who we're going to talk about today, just that he is a Yankee, but he did grow up a Yankee fan too. So I don't know, maybe we do. Anyway, he grew up outside of Boston in Cohasset, Massachusetts. He began playing hockey at a young age before playing baseball, actually. So he actually thought he might pursue hockey professionally, but was very noticeably a skilled athlete from a young age. He also grew up quite the class clown. And when he was growing up, he said he wanted to be a comedian someday. So,
okay. All right.
Ben Rice, he might have some jokes for you. He was a New York Yankees fan, despite most of his friends supporting the Boston Red Sox from where he grew up. His favorite player was Derek Jeter. And he also taught himself how to beatbox in 6th grade when he was bedridden with a broken foot. So he sounds like a really creative and fun kid to me. Ben Rice attended Noble and Greenough School in Dedham, Massachusetts, and Dartmouth College, where he played college baseball for the Dartmouth Big Green. The Big Green. That's an interesting mascot. He was a catcher.
What's that? Is it like a wave? What's
the Big Green? The Dartmouth Big Green.
If you went to Dartmouth and you know this answer, please put it in the YouTube comments because I need to know.
Yeah, it's an Ivy League school, but what is the Big Green? I don't know. I just see a big D that is green.
I think they make shots for that now. I'm just saying. If the D is green, that's not such a good thing. I'm just saying. Anyhow.
Sure. But anyway, go on. He did end up graduating from college, so he has a degree in psychology from Dartmouth. Okay. Oh yeah, he's probably he's smart and funny, and he's playing
and can beatbox.
And he can beatbox. Ladies, I think he might be single too. I don't know. Actually, I didn't look into that. Don't quote me on that, but if you're interested, I think he's about 25 years old. Right. The COVID-19 pandemic affected him as well, resulted in decreased playing opportunities, but he actually helped to organize scrimmages among Ivy League baseball players in the fall of 2020 to help offset that in any way that he could. In 2021, he played collegiate summer ball with the Cotuit Kettleers of the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Oh.
Not sure. I'm not sure. Another mascot I'm gonna have to look into. But Ben Rice was ultimately drafted by the New York Yankees in the 12th round with the 363rd overall selection of the 2021 Major League Baseball draft. Ben Rice spent his first professional season with the rookie level complex, much like Jackson Merrill did, but this time for the Yankees. He's in Florida, in the Florida Complex Yankees League, and then ultimately in Single A with the Tampa Tarpons. He played 68 games for Single A in 2022. He slashed 267, 368, 442 with 9 home runs and 36 RBIs. He started 2023 with Tampa before he was promoted to High A, which is the Hudson Valley Renegades, and ultimately to Double A, the Somerset Patriots, which is just about an hour north of me here in Jersey. So by the end of 2023, he is with the Somerset Patriots. He's with Double A, and it's 73 games between those 3 affiliates. He had a slash line of 324, 434, 615 slug,
Oh my.
20 home runs, 68 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases. So he begins the 2024 season with Somerset. He gets promoted to AAA, which is the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders, in June. And on June 18th, so I don't even know if he actually played in AAA. He must have. He probably played like a week in AAA, it sounds like. Because on June 18th, the Yankees promoted him to the major leagues for the first time. He made his debut that day against the Baltimore Orioles. He recorded his first major league hit in the 3rd inning with a single to right field. And on July 6th, this is where you might have heard of Ben Rice, if you're not a Yankees fan. He played in a game versus the Boston Red Sox, and he became the first rookie in Yankees history to hit 3 home runs in a single game. He hit 3 home runs versus the Boston Red Sox, so like the team where he's from, but for the team that he grew up being a fan of. Just incredible. And he actually had 7 RBIs in that game, which matched Lou Gehrig's record for a Yankees rookie. Not too shabby of company there. He played first base in 49 of the 50 games that he played for the Yankees last season. He played just 1 at catcher, but he is listed as a catcher on the Yankees 40-man roster. So I thought that was interesting. He was drafted as a catcher. He was a catcher all through college, but obviously quite versatile over there at first base. And when we saw Anthony Rizzo go down, that was Ben Rice's moment last season.
Yeah.
I was reading an interview with Ben Rice, and there was a lot of fun things that he was asking in this interview, but he was specifically asked about, do you think it takes a special makeup to play in New York? And do you have that makeup? Because we hear about the pressure of the pinstripes. And he said,
Right.
I think it takes a certain kind of makeup. That being said, I haven't played anywhere else. So this is all that I've known. But of course, you can tell there's more of a spotlight on you. The lights shine a little brighter at the stadium. There's a little bit more weight that you carry on your shoulders as a New York Yankee. Yeah, I would say I absolutely have the makeup to be able to play here. And again, it's all I know. So I love it. So Ben seems up to the challenge, up for the limelight, the pressure of the pinstripes, if you will. And some other fun facts about Ben Rice is that he loves to play Fortnite. He made sure he always had his Xbox with him when he was traveling around in the minor leagues. He says his favorite movie is Good Will Hunting, and his favorite meal is his dad's pancakes, which I just thought was precious.
That is precious. Also, apparently fluent in Spanish. Learned how to speak Spanish because of the game of baseball and trying to talk to all of his teammates. And I got to give it to all of these ball players that teach themselves English, Spanish to English. Anytime you are learning a different language than the one that you are accustomed to, hats off.
Yes. We are very impressed by that because that is just not I think it's like the same. I've probably said this before, but I think it's like the same part of your brain as the math part of your brain. I don't know. I just assume because that's the only thing I struggled with in school was math and I was just never able to retain a second language. But I think it's super impressive. I think it's super useful. And yeah, it is really cool and so relevant in today's game. So right now I'm like looking at the Yankees roster, and we're going to talk about this because obviously it's part of what happened since we last spoke, but they have a couple first basemen on their roster and then Paul Goldschmidt. But do you think Ben Rice, he played 49 of the 50 games that he played at first base. Is he going to keep playing first base? Is he going to be the backup catcher for Austin Wells? How are they going to use
I don't know. And didn't they just trade for a backup catcher too? Or
Ooh,
am I on crack? I know that they traded their backup catcher last season to the Rays, and then they traded Jose Trevino this season to the Reds. But I want to say
they got catcher Alex Jackson from the Reds in return for Jose Trevino.
Okay.
I don't know much about Alex Jackson.
He's been traded like 7 times.
Nice little trade piece there, Alex.
And he's a baby. I don't think he's that old. And so congrats, Alex Jackson, for being traded 43 times in the 2 years that you've been up. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope you don't have any great facial hair that you were hoping to hold on to. But
Yeah.
we'll see. I just don't think, is Cody Bellinger going to play first base for the Yankees?
I don't think so. I think they're going to keep him in. I think they're going to keep him in the outfield and just roll. I say the ancient outfield. It's not that ancient, but it is ancient. But before we talk about the outfield, should we tell the peoples what team we will cover for next week's 40-Man Find?
Let's do
Let
it.
us do that. I am going to present the wheel of names and we're going to hit share. All right. So if you are on the audio only side, go to the YouTube side and you'll see this beautiful wheel that maybe you're going to see parts of. Yep. I'm going to click to spin and I don't know why I'm doing this. Kelsey with a beautiful voice over here probably should be doing this. But from the, oh, look at that. From the AL, we have the Detroit Tigers. All right. So the Detroit Tigers, we're going to remove the Detroit Tigers and maybe we're going to remove the Detroit Tigers. I got to go back to the actual place where I got to click the thing. Remove. All right. And we are going to click one more time. Now you have to do the doo-doos, Kelsey, because you have the more better. There you go. Oh, look at that. The Pittsburgh Pirates. We don't even have to re-spin because we have an AL team and an NL team. So from the NL, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. And from the AL, we have the Detroit Tigers. Kelsey, which team would you like?
I think I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates it is.
Good ones, though.
Yes. Next week, tune in to see who Kelsey chooses for the Pittsburgh Pirates and who I will pick from the Detroit Tigers. All right, we're going to click remove. We're not on that, though. We're going to click remove where we need to on this window. All right, now I'm going to stop sharing the thing, and voila. So if you are on audio only, you're not going to know what any of those things were. And if you are on the YouTubes, you will see how I struggled to find where I needed to go. But you know what? It's a learning process. That's what we're here for. So
pretty seamless, all things considered. Well done.
All things, yeah. All right, I'm going to write this down, though, before I forget those.
Go for it. Detroit Tigers, baby.
Detroit Tigers. All right.
So we've got,
so now,
if you're a baseball fan, you got plenty of gifts right in time for Christmas, right? Because the stove was on fire. It was like, we've got to put a bow on all of these presents for the baseball fans before Christmas Day. It was a little crazy. It was a little overwhelming. So yeah, maybe let's just go in order of when they happened. We last recorded on December 16th, I believe. We talked about the Phillies signing Max Kepler. And since then, the Athletics have signed. They've made another free agent signing. They are doing things. This time they signed infielder Gio Urshela to a 1-year deal. How do we feel about this, Suzy? Were you surprised? We knew that they were looking for a third baseman, and it seems, I don't know, a decent enough fit.
Yeah, A's are making moves, and quite honestly, are they going to be better than Angels next season in the AL West? I think so. Hell, Mariners, just give the Mariners a run for their money as well, because between the adding of, I was going to say Lucas Giolito, not Lucas Giolito, I'm sorry, that's the wrong L name, Luis Severino. There we go. That's the pitcher I wanted to talk about, Luis Severino, and Jeffrey Springs from the Rays. They have pitching now, and their position players are getting better. So Gio Urshela, that's a good pickup. I like it. Adds a little bit of, I feel like veteran leadership is overused, but I feel like maybe that's a little bit of what he is over there too.
Yeah.
Aths, congrats on not getting sued by the MLBPA. We like that for you.
Good job, I guess. Well, the Red Sox are awake. The Red Sox wanted you to know before Christmas that they are awake, and they maybe came to play. They signed left-handed pitcher Patrick Sandoval to a 2-year, $18.25 million deal. Patrick Sandoval, who, I got to take it back here with Patrick Sandoval, because all I remember is last year, 2-8 record, over 5 ERA, less than 80 innings pitched. What do you think we can expect from Patrick Sandoval in 2025?
At this point in time, we can't expect anything because he went down with Tommy John. So the at bat that he went down for was against Shohei Ohtani. And I watched a clip of him talking about the breakdown of that. And he was like, the first 2 pitches, he felt his elbow twinge. And he's, oh man, I can't do that. Not against Shohei. And it got him to a full count. He's like, I can't come out of the game now. He cannot come out of the game. And on that last ball 3, he felt his elbow just explode. and then he had to walk him, and then he had to get out of the game. It's a good signing by the Red Sox because the Angels DFA'd him because they did owe him money, and they're like, "Look, or you're not gonna pitch for us. I don't feel like we need to pay you." So they let him go. Red Sox said, "You know what? Come over here to our pitching lab. We can do things with you next season." They think that maybe he'll be back for the end of this season.
Yeah.
That may or may not happen, but definitely for the 2026 season, he will be back. And honestly, I wanted the Astros to take a flyer on Patrick Sandoval, and I have been saying this for, I don't know, a couple weeks now. Like, look, take a flyer. He can't pitch now, but he can pitch next season. Let's do it. Astros didn't listen to me, but obviously the Boston Red Sox did because that's what they did. And Breslow and that pitching lab that they've got over there said, "Patrick Sandoval, come on over. We can fix you." Literally, figuratively. Let's see what they can do in 2025. So I actually really liked his stuff. The Angels, unfortunately, just it's the Angels. Need I say more? They didn't help him much. He's got a filthy slider. He's got a really good fastball. I want to say he's got a curveball as well that he can mix in, but I think with some usage tweaks and whatnot, I think the Red Sox will do things for him, but just not this season, obviously. So
Yeah, it
good
does
on
sound
you, Red Sox.
could come back as early as the second half of the season, like around the All-Star break. That would be like the earliest. I guess he makes $5 million this year, and the majority of the deal is for the 2026 season, which makes sense. And yeah, he is one of those guys that clearly has a certain level of pedigree and stuff that you're willing to take a chance on. So we will see how it plays out for the Red Sox with that one. The Astros had to go out and get themselves a first baseman. So they picked up Christian Walker, Gold Glove first baseman, who hit
Hmm.
free just after being with the Arizona Diamondbacks. They signed him to a 3-year, $60 million deal. Your take on this signing? Was this where you expected the Astros to go?
Honestly, after Nolan Arenado said no, the pivot to first base was very quick,
Mm.
very quick. And the fact that it's not Goldie, that it's another aging first baseman. Look, I have flashbacks of Jose Abreu. Now, before we signed Jose Abreu, the numbers were declining, and I didn't feel great about that. The numbers for Christian Walker have been pretty much even across the board for the last 3 seasons. For that, I love that. Also, Christian Walker, I need to know when the transition from hair to no hair came because I was snooping on your wife's Instagram and I came across a Christian Walker with a head full of hair and it just threw me off. So, at any point in time, Christian Walker, Arizona D-backs fans that have been in this, I need to know. I need to know when that transition happened. Please and thank you. Anyhow, so the fact that he had 52 outs above average. I'm sorry, what? The next highest was Paul Goldschmidt
Mhm.
with 13.
Yeah,
52?
it's not even been close the last few seasons, particularly with Christian Walker's defense.
Yeah. And so that's been awesome because first base has been a hole, a black hole of defense, just a black hole of all of the things. Just a not nice place here in Astroland. So the fact that now we have Gold Glove, Christian Walker at first, and our new infield coach is Tony Perishchica, who came from the D-backs as well,
Mm.
and is very familiar with Christian Walker. I feel like that's going to be really good. The fact that some of the guys came and reached out to him. Lance McCullers, apparently, he's not too busy running his coffee shop. He texted Christian Walker, and Josh Hader texted him as well. So, Christian, welcome to the H. Apparently, he's very excited about the barbecue and the food scene here in Houston. I'll be excited to see the plays that he makes. He's wearing number 13 here in the H. It's
It's
been a
really
minute since we've had a really good first baseman, so I'm excited to see
cool.
that.
And it's been a minute since he's played for any other team but the Diamondbacks. Last 8 seasons with the Diamondbacks, and he's just going to be in a completely different type of lineup from the Diamondbacks going to the Astros. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, particularly like his on base percentage and his batting average, maybe tick up just a little bit, being in the middle of just a, a more powerful, I think, overall
Mhm.
lineup from the Diamondbacks. Yeah, I think the upside there is what got him the 3 years. and some may call it an overpay, but I think, like you said, it's solid, and he's
Yep.
been so solid across the board that he has earned to still be paid at that level.
I think so. And Father Time is undefeated. We shall see. Let's just be really honest. It can't be any worse than what we've had. So,
Right.
Astros fans, let's be
Well,
excited for Christian Walker and the short porch over there. And
yeah.
I know that's what we said with Jose Abreu. I know. Okay, we're putting the good thoughts out into the ether. Good thoughts. Okay.
Yeah, you have to think about if you hadn't been burned so recently in that
So
way. That's a good point. Okay, we talked about this a little bit already, but the Cincinnati Reds went out and said, "We want to trade for Yankees catcher Jose Trevino." So Jose Trevino is now on the Cincinnati Reds. Apparently, he's bestie with Todd Frazier. They've had some back and forth, had some chats, and Todd Frazier said, "You're going to love it here, bro. Come on over." The Yankees received reliever Fernando Cruz and catcher Alex Jackson, as we mentioned. I don't know how I feel about this. It seems weird to me. For whatever reason, I cannot imagine Jose Trevino like anywhere but the Yankees.
yeah, I don't know what the Reds were doing because Fernando Cruz is filthy,
Yeah.
filthy relief pitcher. So I feel like it's an over. I feel like it's an overpay, but I don't know. But again, I maybe Jose Trevino gonna grow out the facial hair over
Okay.
there in Cincinnati and turn it loose.
I
I
mean, you
think
think back up to
I think
Tyler Stevenson, right?
yeah, but I think Tyler Stevenson is stick first,
Yeah.
whereas Jose Trevino is glove first.
Yep.
And I don't know, maybe between the two, they're hoping that maybe they can help each other out.
For
I don't
sure.
know, who knows?
Yeah.
But I
They
want to say I
productive
think
pair.
they're trying to get Tyler Stevenson like off his feet a little bit more and maybe get Tyler Stevenson some more DH days, and then Jose Trevino can be in there a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, I think Tyler Stevenson is one to watch for sure. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see how they pair those two together. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid. The Yankees signed a first baseman in after letting Anthony Rizzo walk. We knew, or did DFA Anthony Rizzo? What happened? I forget what happened
No,
there. They just didn't pick up his
Rizzo had had
yeah.
an option and they didn't pick it up. So
Yeah, we talked about that. So, yes, it was known that they were looking to find some corner infield here, and they found their first baseman in one Paul Goldschmidt, who I knew he wasn't coming back to the Cardinals because clearly they're not interested in players like Paul motherfucking Goldschmidt being on their team anymore, which is really unfortunate for me. But yes, even though he is also an aging first baseman, he is Paul Goldschmidt, and he has signed a 1-year, $12.5 million deal with the Yankees. He has a really nice beard that is in full on like transition to Silver Fox. And I think it is a damn shame that we are not going to get to see that in 2025 because he's going to have to go clean shaven with the Yankees. But overall, I do think Paul Goldschmidt fits the Yankees vibe. You said that he turned down more money in other places.
to go to the Yankees. So I'm just saying, last season we said that the Cardinals rotation smelled of Ben Gay and vibes because it was like the oldest rotation in MLB. Is the Yankees lineup overall on average the oldest lineup we have?
I
Or
think it certainly will be. It's definitely on track to be.
so we have Paul Goldschmidt, who at this beginning of the season will be 37 or will turn 37 in season.
I believe he turned 37 in September. Let me double check.
Okay.
I'm
So
pretty
we've
sure
got
he is.
37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt. We've got 34-year-old Aaron Judge, 36-year-old DH Giancarlo Stanton.
Wait,
Um,
Giancarlo? No, I think Giancarlo. Oh, did he already turn? No, he's still 35 right now. Giancarlo and I are born in the same year, so
oh,
yeah, I
I'm
take it
sorry to
personally.
age you.
Call him old.
Okay. So 35-year-old
Oh yeah,
Giancarlo.
he turned 35 in November.
Okay, 35-year-old Giancarlo. So that takes care of what? First, DH, right field. Second is, do they even have a second baseman or is that going to be Jazz? They
I think
haven't signed.
Jazz.
Okay, so Jazz takes it down.
It
Jazz
should.
takes the average down because he's 26. Anthony Volpe is still a baby at what, 22. I still don't know what they're doing at third. I swear to God, if they sign Alex Bregman, I will just eat myself off a building. Cody Bellinger now, that's 29. Although in my head, Cody Bellinger's like 32. I don't know why.
Or even, yeah, I feel like there's no way Cody Bellinger is even more than 5 years younger than me. That's insane. I don't know why. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, in my head, he's 32. He's not 32,
He's
people. He's 29. Sure. And Trent Grisham is still on the team, people. Trent Grisham is still on the team. And he's 27.
That's right. That's right. Sorry, Trent.
Which actually kills me because Trent Grisham is probably one of the best outfielders out there and doesn't ever get any playing time.
Yes. And especially not on the Yankees. I feel like on another team, he would probably get more, but
yeah. Trent Grisham, come to the Astros. You gotta be better than Jake Myers. Gotta be.
We'll see. I don't know that he's a piece they are like guaranteed to hang on to. Who knows? But yeah, the Yankees are definitely not done. Obviously, they're playing their game of we don't even miss you, Juan Soto. And this is a continuum of that. And Paul Goldschmidt, I know he did turn 37 in September, so he'll be 37 for the majority of this season. He will turn 38 on September 10th of 2025. But he had a really rough 2024, you guys. But he was the MVP in 2022 on a team that was not very good. And he's a 3-time batting title. He's probably a future Hall of Famer. He's not by any means going to be I know we compared a lot the struggles that Paul Goldschmidt was having to Jose Abreu last season, but by no means has he reached that level of regression, or should you expect that that's what the Yankees are going to get from him, especially with where they're going to put him in the lineup. And he really struggled more towards the beginning of last season. And it did look like a lot of the timing issues and stuff like that we were seeing with the Paul Goldschmidt of yours. So I'm sure in that tiny little ballpark, he's going to hit 40 home runs for the Yankees, and I'm going to cry my eyes out. But let's talk about
Is he going to cover first base, though? That's all I need to know. Is he going to cover first base, or is he going to expect the pitchers to cover first base?
He does cover a lot more first base than Anthony Rizzo does. So they did get an improvement there, which is a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up because, clearly that was something that they needed to search for as well. Yeah. Another first baseman that covers a fair amount of ground himself is the former Guardians first baseman Josh Naylor, who was traded to the Diamondbacks. The Guardians are going to receive right-handed pitcher Slade Cecconi. That's a cool name. Cecconi? Slade Cecconi. Still cool. And a competitive balance round B draft pick. Did you see this one coming? Did you see the Guardians trading Josh Naylor?
Yes, because Josh Naylor has 1 year left on his contract and he's going to be owed money. And so the Guardian said, bye-bye, Josh Naylor. Guess what? Guess you know who we're going to bring back, though? You know who we're going to bring back? It's a favorite.
Somebody with a slightly lower batting average, similar on-base percentage, and probably a slightly lower slugging percentage as well, but we can pay him $12 million. Come on back, Carlos Santana. He's going to plug and play.
And Carlos Santana turned down more money and an extra year from the Mariners to go back to Cleveland.
Wow. You know what? A lot of players, it is word on the streets, a lot of players really do love to play in Cleveland. Seems like they got something good going on there, and obviously he knows what to expect. But it's going to be weird to see Josh Naylor with any other team besides the Guardians. I didn't really even think about it that way. I just thought, like, how could you separate the Naylor brothers? Oh, they're going to play on different teams for the first time in both of their major league careers, which will be interesting. But I do think Josh Naylor will be a good vibe fit with that Arizona Diamondbacks team.
I think so too. And I don't want to say that Josh Naylor has that edge, but he's got that energy. He's got that like shit talking energy, the whole like rock the baby against the Yankees. And the Diamondbacks, they don't really have that kind of energy. They've got like the young kids, and they had Christian Walker, who was never going to do that. They had Ketel Marte, that was the quote unquote like veteran leadership. But they don't really have that guy. They had Tommy Pham for a little while, but they don't have the crazy like gonna rock the baby at the other dugout energy. And I feel like maybe the Diamondbacks need a little bit of something, and maybe Josh Naylor can provide that for them this season. So I think it's a good fit. We'll see how it goes, but I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's exactly what I was thinking in terms of vibes, and we're big on that. So if for no other reason, obviously there's plenty of other reasons to acquire Josh Naylor, but I see that that working out well in terms of the vibes. Another vibe I'm pretty high on is the Phillies trading for left-handed pitcher Jesus Luzardo. Yeah, Marlins will take him. Well, here I am, full on Phillies Kelsey. But yeah, I was pretty excited about this. Now, the Marlins did get some good prospects here in return. I lost my little press release for the Marlins here. Yeah, so they get top prospects from the Phillies: shortstop Starling Caba and outfielder Emeron Boyd. I'm not sure if I'm saying his right first name, but Phillies get Jesus Luzardo and minor league catcher Paul McIntosh. What's your read on this one? Were you expecting Jesus Luzardo to be traded?
Word on the street was that they were shopping him. He's been hurt, but when he's on,
Right.
he's great. And everyone's, oh my God, the Phillies and Jesus Luzardo is their 5th starter. I'm all, that's gross when Jesus Luzardo is your 5th starter. Because I don't like that. I don't like that. And now do the Phillies have the best 1 through 5 rotation? I
Yeah,
feel like
if
they
they can keep
do.
them healthy. And they need that like kind of ammunition, I feel, after the way that they've been burned by their offense when it matters. So yeah, I was really excited to see that they got another pitcher who could be, under the right circumstances, more of a top of the line
Yeah.
rotation guy, more of a 2-3 guy. But even if he just continues of gets healthy and can go out every 5th day and doesn't reach his full potential, he's still
Yeah.
going to be a guy that you want in there as a 4-5 at the very least.
Yeah. So that's congrats, Phillies. I don't know. Maybe hit some during the playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll see if
Like, I don't think the pitching was the problem over there.
it really wasn't. Oh man, that was just wild because yeah, they really did Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola dirty in the playoffs. So we'll see if it sounds like fans really want to see Alec Boehm and maybe even Castellanos moved. I feel like there was another one that fans were just ready to throw into the fire, but we'll see. I think the Phillies definitely not done. I think they're sitting tight and ready to be very strategic. The Rangers, however, looking for a little trade action here. They traded Nathaniel Lowe to the Nationals, and the Rangers received left-handed reliever Robert Garcia.
If you guys didn't know Robert Garcia in the AL, y'all are going to, because he's dirty. He is gross. Absolutely gross. And Nathaniel Lowe going over to the Nats. Get ready to play in the outdoors, sir. I don't know how you're going to do with that, but we'll see. And now that they added freaking Jock Peterson over there as their DH, they signed him. I don't like that either. Don't like that.
Yeah.
Just absolutely kills right-handed pitching. Just slays right-handed pitching. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So now, if the Rangers lineup performs at even half the level that they did in 2023, the Rangers lineup is going to be a problem.
Oh my gosh, remember the 2023 Rangers lineup? They led in like every offensive category. And yeah, it seems like they are really focused on trying to make that happen again because that was where the magic was at. Jock Peterson gets 2 years, $37 million.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah. He's going to be the everyday DH. And I want to say that their DH last year was like a rotation of, I want to say Jonah Heim was in there when he wasn't catching. It was just a kind of revolving door. But now Jock will be their everyday DH and will get a ton of production out of there. With Jonah Heim and Kyle Higashioka possibly platooning, maybe Kyle Higashioka will be the main catcher and Jonah Heim will be the backup because, like I said, this last season, Jonah's numbers were not good. And it was definitely not the 2023 version of Jonah Heim that everyone expected. And Josh Young was hurt for the majority of this last season, but Josh H. Smith filled in fabulously for them. So I know their young kids were hurt, took turns being hurt and not great. We'll see if Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford can bounce back and do the things. And Adolis Garcia, look at you without steroids. I'm just saying, this is what happens when you play, all natural. And just put that out there. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know, is it? I was going to say Super Bowl. It's not Super Bowl. World Series hangover? Because it was bad this last season. It was very bad.
Yeah.
And everyone's, but Jacob DeGrom's going to be back and Max Scherzer is going to be back.
What?
Oh, okay, sure. You got Nathan Eovaldi back. That's great. But out of your entire rotation, you got like one guy that you can count on. Like I can mark down Nathan Eovaldi. You're gonna get some great starts out of Jacob deGrom, and then I don't wish anybody to get hurt, but I don't know if I trust that arm to keep that same energy all season.
Yeah, at some point you got to call it a spade. We'll see. We all, as baseball fans, want to see all of the starts out of Jacob deGrom, but it is yet to be seen. So, yeah, I do think the Rangers are definitely willing to make the moves, though. So this will certainly not be all from them. And the Red Sox signed another pitcher. I guess we could have lumped this in with Patrick Sandoval, but I don't know why. I thought Walker Buehler was already back with the Yankees. I guess that rumor was just so strong that I thought it happened. Sometimes I dream that trades happen. Or signings happen and they don't actually happen. I don't know why. I thought Walker Buehler had signed with the Yankees. I think I dreamt it. But he has not, in fact, signed a 1-year, $21 million deal with the Boston Red Sox. Walker Buehler on the Red Sox. Here we go.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting. And the Red Sox are playing 4D chess out here because they gave Nick Pivetta a QO. Nick Pivetta turned it down. The Dodgers didn't give Walker Buehler the qualifying offer. So by signing with the Red Sox, don't have to give up a draft pick. And when somebody else signs Nick Pivetta, they also get a comp pick. The Red Sox get a comp pick. So Red Sox are out here playing 4D chess.
Yeah.
And giving Walker Buehler the same exact amount as a qualifying offer. Andrew Bailey, Craig Breslow, would just hat tips to you, sir. So obviously Walker Buehler knows how to pitch against the Yankees. That'll be fun. Seeing that, Walker Buehler, in his own words, is a problem. And we'll see what that does for the Red Sox lineup and rotation and how much that will play into what he will get next season. Because I figured that with the amount of pitching that is going on the market, that he was going to get a multi-year deal.
I was surprised, that he didn't get a multi-year deal, but must have wanted to take a chance on the higher AAV, and that could very well play out for him. And I would love to see. We loved the Walker Buehler story in the postseason, and the Red Sox, they clearly got something going on with their willingness to rehabilitate or work with these rehabilitating pitchers. So interested to follow that particular storyline in 2025. Okay, our last two here are homecomings, really. The Pirates, thank goodness, have re-signed Andrew McCutchen. Thank you, Pittsburgh Pirates, for doing the thing that we needed you to do. 1 year, $5 million. Is this Andrew McCutchen's last season?
It wasn't Andrew McCutchen's last season supposed to be last season?
Maybe.
I love it. I love it that the hometown hero is signing back with the Pirates. That's great. But I love you, Kutch, but I need the Pirates to put some more bats in that lineup because your starting rotation is freaking gross.
Yeah.
And you are just literally the NL version of the Seattle Mariners. Can you please sign some bats? I need this so badly.
Yeah, and they need to do it because they need to give Andrew McCutchen a fighting chance. Come on, you're in the NL Central. He could play in the postseason in his final year. He's going to be at his year 38 season. He turned 38 in October. Still producing. He says a below average batting average at 232, but still put up 20 home runs, 50 RBIs, had a few stolen bases too. And obviously started this season injured. So we'll see what Kutch can do for the Pirates, but overall he's like captain vibes for sure. And hopefully, yes, he will be part of helping them bring some more offense to life there in Pittsburgh because that's what they need. And at this point, it is blowing my mind of their unwillingness to do it because they are not in a division where they even have to spend that much to be remotely competitive. So
I just do
there
something.
are other teams who are very willing though to spend outrageously to be remotely competitive. We know the New York Mets is number one on that list, and they have put their money where their mouth is again with a 3-year, $75 million deal for Sean Manaea. I was very glad to see Sean Manaea get this deal. I hope to see him go elsewhere just because, I don't know, my relationship with the Mets is so hot and cold. But yeah, he's coming back with the Mets. It seems like he has a lot of really good relationships there. And it is certainly a good time to take a chance on Sean Manaea.
Yeah, I liked the signing. I'm glad that Sean Manaea is back with the Mets. And honestly, I didn't think 3 for 75 was outrageous. 25 AAV for Sean Manaea, I don't think is over the top.
Yeah.
So they said, all right, once Soto got the big check, here, Sean Manaea, have some breadcrumbs. 75 million being breadcrumbs is fucking stupid. But again, I didn't think it was super over the top. But I liked the signing for them. I need the Mets to do one more. I need one more solid starting pitcher arm for me to say that the Mets have done all of the things, because I don't know if I can call Kodai Senga and Sean Manaea the best 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I agree. I do think
Well,
that Sean Manaea is in that sweet spot of where, because I think with pitchers specifically, we see them have a different age of where they reach their peak. They don't all
yeah.
mature exactly the same way. I think Sean Manaea is in that sweet spot at 32 years old, which is maybe a little bit older than some, or like certainly older than position players. But yeah, Kodai Senga is still too much of a wild card. I agree, to feel like they don't need to do a
No.
little something else to sweeten that up.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the reunion with Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea, because like I said, Frankie Montas hasn't been good since he was on the A's. And maybe that reunion with Sean Manaea, because since they were on the A's together and the both of them shoved while they were on the A's, maybe that will unlock something. Who knows? I don't know. But that led me to my last point, because we're going to end with the A's. And really, I say the A's, but baseball unfortunately lost a legend in the game, most notably played on the A's, but he really belonged to baseball. Like, all of the baseball teams, all the baseball players loved him. And unfortunately, Rickey Henderson passed away at the age of 65 from pneumonia. And being a newer baseball fan, it hit me not hard, because I obviously didn't quote unquote grow up watching Rickey, but in my baby baseball knowledge infancy, I knew about Rickey Henderson and his stolen base record, but I wasn't aware of how good a baseball player he was for how long. It
Yeah.
blew my mind. I didn't realize that he played for 25 years. What are we doing? 25 years?
And 9 different teams ultimately. Yeah, he was with the Athletics, but also with the Yankees before he came back to the Athletics. And then he like hopped around a ton. Blue Jays, Padres, Angels. He kept coming back to the A's, which I love. New York Mets, Seattle Mariners, San Diego Padres, Boston Red Sox, ultimately with the Dodgers. And then he was with the Mets as a coach for a season in 2007. And he was born on Christmas. His birthday is on Christmas in Chicago, Illinois. So I know the city of Chicago, they own Rickey Henderson as well. And anyone, baseball as a whole, you said it well, is going to want to take credit for him and honor him and mourn him, because, yeah, he was hugely impactful and often referred to as the best leadoff hitter of all time.
Yeah. And I, again, being the baby baseball knower, info, like, I literally did not understand how good of a baseball player he was. And I just thought maybe he was just really fast. No, Suzy, no. He was so good. So good. Lifetime batting average of 279. An OBP, an on-base percentage of 401 with a slug of 419. So if you weren't pitching to Rickey Henderson and he wasn't hitting one out, you were going to walk him, or he was going to get on base somehow. And then you knew he was going to steal second, he was going to steal third, and eventually, without probably even doing anything, he was going to steal home. He was going to do that. And now you're like down 1-0, and what happened? He didn't even hit the ball. There's no hits. What's happening?
Yeah. He had a career 1,406 stolen bases, which is over 500 more than the previous record of 938 by Lou Brock. That's insane. So everybody, Cardinals fans, Lou Brock, you know him for having all the stolen bases. Rickey Henderson had over 1,400 stolen bases. It's hard to wrap your head around. And yeah, that he was really known for that, I think, especially in certain veins. But to your point, he was an incredible overall player.
As a 42-year-old, he stole 25 bases as a 42-year-old.
That's crazy.
I am 42, and my back hurts. I'm bending over.
I also realized I just really made this a math pod because I said that that I think I was comparing 1406 and 1938, and that's not more than 500 more. This is not a math pod. Just we have not declared that this episode, but it's close to 5. It's a lot more. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to hold that against you. Kelsey. Again.
I said it as I was saying it. I was
not
like,
that
I don't think that's right, but
Yeah.
it seems like a lot more.
Kelsey, we're going to end on that note. And if people want to come at you for not knowing math, where can they find you on the interwebs?
Yeah, to be fair, I did already talk about how I'm not good at math in this episode. So it is not something that I pretend to be good at. But yeah, if you want to talk more about baseball and not math, you can find me at KBird Tweets, KBURD Tweets, on all the social medias and the YouTube. And then over here, obviously, at Bourbon and Baseball with Suzy.
Yes. Guys, we want to thank you for hanging out with us, tuning in. And if you've not liked this episode, subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. If you are on audio, please give us a 5-star rating, do the typey word thing, and leave a review. Tell all your friends. I'm going to say it out loud, and it's going to be very scary. But you know what? If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And we have been sitting at 259, 260 subscribers for a little while now. And in 1 year, so in 2026, I would love to say we've made it to 500 subscribers. So we're going to try to get to
we're going to double
a whole 250. Look at the math that we're doing.
Look at that.
We're such good mathers. So if you guys would love to help us get to that goal, we would love that as well. Again, 500 by 2026. Tell all your friends. If you have a lady in your life that likes baseball but doesn't know where to start, send them our way. So please tell all your friends, man, woman, child. Probably not child. Don't tell your children to listen to us. That's not good, I think. But maybe your pets. Maybe the pets will listen to us. So with that said, we're going to say goodbye and good night and say, yay, baseball! And record.